In the forest, the group from the Murim Alliance organization made their way towards the tomb in search of treasures. Xiaopong, feeling frustrated, questioned why they had to stay in the back despite being the ones who discovered the tomb. Sang, trying to calm the situation, explained that they were unable to venture further into the tomb. Xiaopong, unwilling to accept this explanation, insisted that Sang take back his words. He grabbed and shook Sang's collar, demanding a change in their positioning. Meanwhile, Kwang remained observant of their surroundings, sensing potential danger. Yun, concerned, asked Kwang what was wrong. Kwang expressed his unease, noting that the path they were on could potentially lead to an ambush, putting them all in danger. As they journeyed through the forest, Yun's thoughts wandered to a moment in the novel where Woon had met his demise in this forest after crossing paths with Kwang. He pondered whether overcoming this crisis marked another milestone in his life. Kwang, sensing danger, warned of an enemy attack, prompting everyone to be on high alert. Suddenly, a large stone dropped in front of them, causing a stir among the group. Elder Q, outraged by the attack, demanded to know who dared to oppose them. Yun, recognizing the situation, questioned the identity of the attacker, recalling that Woon had been the instigator in the novel, but he is now Woon and known as Yun, the shopkeeper. A horse appeared carrying a man who claimed to be Woon, the fourth young master of the demonic cult. He declared his intent to use them as the first sacrifice for their invasion of the Central Plains, shocking Yun with this unexpected turn of events. In a villainous manner, the imposter Woon maliciously ordered his troops to attack, setting the stage for a fierce confrontation in the forest. The enemy troops threw a smoke bomb, prompting Q to instruct everyone to cover their mouths and noses for protection. As the smoke enveloped them, Yun speculated that it might be tear gas rather than poison. Kwang swiftly used his sword to disperse the smoke and advancing towards the imposter Woon, who claimed to be the fourth young master of the demonic cult. The imposter Woon ordered his troops to attack, but Kwang effortlessly defeated them, instilling fear in the enemy troops. Kwang continued to engage in combat with the enemy forces, displaying his skill and prowess on the battlefield. Suddenly, the imposter Woon used a whistle to summon additional troops adorned in iron armor, surprising Yun with their appearance. Curious, Yun voiced his surprise and questioned the nature of these armored troops. The imposter Woon proudly declared that they were the invincible iron armor unit of the demonic cult, intending to let their enemies experience their power. Kwang, finding the name amusing, remarked on its humor, prompting Yun to inquire about what he found funny. With his aura sword, Kwang directed his attack towards an enemy wearing iron armor. The force of his strike shattered the enemy's shield, causing it to fly back and strike the target, leading to its demise. Meanwhile, Yun observed Kwang's incredible power, realizing that he was exceptionally strong. Yun doubted his own ability to defeat such a formidable opponent, even if he were to risk his own life in the process. He questioned the senselessness of his previous thoughts and acknowledged the need to focus on understanding the situation while Kwang continued the fight. Yun swiftly moved towards the imposter Woon, leaping into the air and delivering a powerful kick to his face. Imposter Woon, impressed by Yun's skills, acknowledged the prowess of the Azure Heaven Squad. He boasted about his demonic thunder bomb, declaring that they would never be able to stop it. Chun, recognizing the imminent danger, warned everyone to get away from the impending threat of the thunder bomb. As the tension heightened, an arrow suddenly shot through the air, striking the imposter's arm. Startled, he lost his grip on the bomb, causing it to slip from his hand. Reacting swiftly, Yun kicked the bomb away to a safe distance, preventing harm to his ally. Seizing the opportunity, Yun grabbed the imposter by the neck, demanding to know his true identity. The imposter stuttered, introducing himself as the fourth young master of the demonic cult. Yun, recognizing the inconsistency in his claim, called him a stupid bastard, questioning why a member of the Sun Moon Divine cult would refer to it as the demonic cult. The imposter, feeling cornered, confessed to being Woon, the fourth young master of the demonic cult. Angry and confused, Yun demanded to know how the imposter knew that name, challenging him to explain his knowledge. The imposter, in a state of distress, pleaded for his life, claiming that they were merely wandering martial artists following orders. He expressed his compliance with instructions given to him. Yun, skeptical of the imposter's words, questioned who had ordered them to carry out such actions. Seeking to uncover the truth behind the imposter's motives, Yun pressed for information about the individuals behind the scheme. Suddenly, the imposter's body began to develop bumps and swellings, leaving Yun both confused and surprised by this. Chun, filled with anger and frustration, reprimanded Yun for his actions, as they were supposed to interrogate the imposter. Kwang, sensing the imminent danger, urgently shouted for Yun to move away. Yun quickly heeded Kwang's warning and distanced himself. The imposter made a sudden self-destructive, detonating himself in a destructive explosion. Yun stood in shock and disbelief, at a loss for words as he processed the unexpected events. In the second young master's residence, unit leader Wool and Jean discussed the tomb of the phantom astral thief. Jean expressed his thoughts on the matter, acknowledging the significance of the tomb. The unit leader, considering the challenges of infiltrating the orthodox factions, expressed concern about the fourth young master's hasty decision. He believed that infiltrating such factions was a difficult task even for trained personnel, and suggested that it might be wise to issue an evacuation order at this point to ensure the safety of their group. Jean firmly expressed his trust in the fourth young master, convinced that he had a plan in place. However, Jean shifted the conversation's focus to the recent news of the assassination of Asana Ruslin, the chieftain of the Asana tribe. Wool and the unit leader were taken aback by this unexpected development. Jean emphasized that a storm was brewing on the frontiers, hinting at the impending chaos. Wool inquired about Asana Azmit, speculating whether he would succeed Ruslin as the chieftain, since he had friendly relations with their divine cult. Jin responded, acknowledging Azmit's fighting prowess, but explaining that it was too early for him to claim the chieftain's position. Instead, a fierce battle for the seat was anticipated, which might lead Azmit to seek an external enemy to prevent internal division. Wool concluded that the external enemy might target their divine cult. Jean concurred, emphasizing the need for their group to be prepared for all possible scenarios. As they neared the entrance of the cave, Q's anger flared as he expressed his frustration. He lamented the missed opportunity to capture the fourth young master of the demonic cult alive, emphasizing the importance of having such a valuable prisoner for the Murim Alliance, the protector of justice. Q stressed the severity of the sin committed by allowing an important prisoner to die. Yun observed Q that he tended to make a fuss in such situations. Meanwhile, Kwang questioned why the honorable Taoist priests hadn't captured the fourth young master themselves. Chun, sheathing his sword, witnessed Q's growing anger and the tense atmosphere. Q, in his fury, reprimanded the group for their audacity. As they gathered near the cave entrance, Yun stepped in to clarify that he was the one who had captured the fourth young master, not great warrior Kwang. Taking responsibility for the capture, Yun prepared to face any repercussions that might arise. Q, still wary of the group, issued a stern warning, vowing to keep a close eye on them. He cautioned that if similar incidents occurred again, they should be prepared to face the consequences. Kwang, unbothered by Q's words, questioned the need for constant surveillance. Meanwhile, Yun pointed out that Kwang's actions had garnered him enemies everywhere due to his behavior. In response, Kwang expressed his lack of concern, stating that he was focused on looking after those around him and requested that Yun refrain from interfering in his affairs in the future. Yun, seething with frustration behind Kwang, regretted his decision to help him and criticized him as a crazy bastard. Go.